Gauteng education, be not proud. Kids in Tembisa have sustained injuries after a roof collapsed on them at school. In another story, 10 million rand earmarked for the refurbishment of a school in Gauteng has allegedly been looted. This apparently with the knowledge of officials in the Gauteng Education Department. And yet another school in Soweto, kids there are forced to do rotational learning due to unsafe buildings at their school. What on earth is going on? Is the right to basic education in Gauteng under threat? The MEC for education in this province is Matome Chiloane, and he joins us now on the line. MEC, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being available to talk to us.
Thank you. Good morning, Bongani, and your listeners.
Let's talk about what happened in Tembisa. I understand 18 learners have sustained injuries after a classroom ceiling collapsed on them.
It's actually 15 years, and it's really unfortunate. I mean, this incident really took us back as a department, because really when our children are in school, we always strive to give them the best in terms of infrastructure and other resources that are required for them to develop.
MEC, I guess my concern is that this doesn't seem to be an isolated incident. We've had a number in recent years. There was the one in Hammanskraal at Homba Primary School. Again, a number of kids were injured there. There was one at Zakhele Primary in Mamelodi in 2021. Part of a ceiling collapsed on children and learners there. And then an assistant teacher were injured. Why is this happening?
The infrastructure, I remember some of our schools are quite old, and obviously the maintenance thereof for them is required on a continual basis. That's why from what happened, the incident yesterday, we have schools to really come out and say where do they foresee challenges, and really we expect more, of course, from from the infrastructure. You need to definitely do more, because there's a number of schools that we have also earmarked for major refurbishments, and these are some of the schools, like for instance in Tambega is also earmarked for major refurbishment, because the infrastructure is quite old, and as you may, without regular maintenance, then you can start having this problem. But now with this case, further, I don't want to assume anything. We are investigating as to what really is the state of the whole block, because now it might be one class, but maybe the whole block is to be fixed. So today we're investigating as to what could have led to that.
MEC, if there is no regular maintenance at these schools, who should take the blame for that? Whose fault is it?
There is. I don't want to say there is no regular maintenance. We really invest a lot as a department in maintenance of the schools. But remember, maintenance, if there are problems that don't require just to patch, you really need to fix the whole block, and that becomes major because of the age of this infrastructure. Some of the schools are 50 years old, some of them are 60 years old. And because of that, obviously there is going to be some impact on them that needs to be changed. So it depends on the impact of it. But we regularly maintain our infrastructure. Where we know that there's a problem, we then embark on different strategies on how to maybe bring in mobiles and other strategies that we look at within the department to ensure that learner safety is priority, because it is priority to us.
I wonder, MEC, because I'll point you to the example of Noord Secondary School in Soweto, where the community there was promised mobile classrooms because the old buildings made out of asbestos were not safe. Those have yet to be delivered, and we're now sitting in a situation where at the end of February, kids are still doing rotational learning. Some of them haven't had more than 12, 14, 16 days at most of learning since the year started.
We are aware. I'm aware of the situation in North Coast. Look, and the delay is with mobiles. Remember, mobiles are the contractors that assist us with mobiles. Nationally, there's a demand for mobiles, and sometimes we've got contractor delay. And these are some of the situations of contracted delay. I'm aware, and it's not those schools. There are also a number of schools that are still waiting for mobiles. But we have promised them by end of this month or mid next month, we should be done with mobiles.
So in the meantime, to the poor learners, sorry for you?
No. No. There's no such a thing in education. Sorry for you. We have
Well, practically, that's what's
have-
unfolding, MEC, because as I say to you, some of these kids can only go to school once, maybe twice a week. That is a sorry for you.
No. Now, what is done? What we do, we also come up with intervention mechanism for catch-up in such instances. And these learners, obviously, is a collaboration between the learners, the parents, the parent body, and the school that we will need to put extra hours and extra time to ensure that these learners catch up. And we always do that. And we'll do the same with those learners that currently are on rotation. But where we're sitting, rotation should be eliminated. But if safety is compromised, sometimes we can take that decision for a short period of time, not a long period. Just a minute, short interval, then we go back, we kick back the system back again.
There was also an allegation of an amount of 10 million rand earmarked for the refurbishment of a school in Ekurhuleni. That was allegedly embezzled, and officials in your department reportedly knew about it and turned a blind eye.
Yes, that has come to my attention as we investigate. And from that report, then we'll take necessary action. I'm not good. That situation, I know of it, in the sense that there is also it came to my attention the same way you are bringing it now. Then I said, no, let's investigate so that we can put the matter to rest. If there's somebody who should be held accountable, that one you know very well, Bongani, that I ensure that everybody who should be held accountable is held accountable.
My difficulty, MEC, we've painted a picture in just the three examples you and I have discussed, really, of an education system that is frankly dysfunctional.
No. I totally disagree. You gave me isolated incidences. I'm sitting with over 2,200 plus schools. You know, you've given me maybe 4 or 5. Now you can't tell me this truth. A dysfunctional system, you need to look at the whole system. And the whole system is still working, you know, and that's how you should look at it. And those 2 or 3 schools that we have identified with problems, we are attending to it. You know, education is a societal matter. It needs everybody to work with us. And whether to reporting the challenges, which we know the SGB, the SGBs and the SMT to report if there are challenges of infrastructure, but it's always a continuous work in progress. Now, that is the system. Now, the system entirely is working correctly.
All right.
Okay. So 3 schools is not a system. It's 3 isolated schools in 3 different areas that require our immediate attention, and which we are giving it to them.
Gauteng MEC of Education, Matome Chiloane, I appreciate your time. He says the schools are working just fine. The system is working just fine. It's a few isolated incidents. What is your sense of what we just discussed?
Join us. This is 702.